Well then, shall we go?
Be sure to keep an eye on the place.
I got it already. I'll be across the street if something happens, since you insist on privacy. Just hurry up and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, about that. Don't wait up.
I see he has some unfinished business with this one. I can't wait to hear how this plays out. Your heels clicked against the concrete, your achy feet ready to discard this accursed fashion statement and relax after a hard day's work. Your shoulder bag dug into your skin as the heavy glass contents inside clicked together. You sighed, exasperated by the day you had, and ready to just clean the blood that had sullied your clothes. Luckily, your coat was long enough to cover you so as not to raise suspicion. But it was also midnight, so it was unlikely anyone would have noticed anyway. But it was better to err on the side of caution. You had already had such an exhausting night. Treating the wounds of an old friend you hadn't seen in a couple years was definitely not the plan for your evening. You approached the coordinates you had given to Dabi, leading to a small abandoned warehouse that you used as an undercover clinic. You slid the door open, peering inside.
You finally made it.
You saw as he leaned up on the makeshift operating table you had in the middle of the warehouse, along with some supplies, chairs, and a fold-out couch for the patient's comfort. Assuming that he was bleeding profusely was the reason he opted to lay on the table. You slid the door closed behind you, walking up to him. You didn't tell me the bleeding was this bad.
It wouldn't have made any difference. I didn't want to make you worry.
Getting a call from you in the middle of the night with some crazy guy saying you got hurt already had me worried.
That's fair. That's my bad.
Don't apologize. Just sit still. Hold this gauze to your wound while I sterilize my equipment and change clothes.
All right. Whatever you say. Quite the place you have here.
I know it's not ideal, but I can't exactly afford my own practice.
I was trying to compliment you.
Oh, thanks.
You're brave enough to even offer villains medical treatment. What you've done, all on your own, deserves praise.
You don't have to flatter me, Dabi. I don't do this for praise. To me, everyone deserves access to medical care. It's why I became a freelance doctor in the first place. So I can treat whoever I can without restriction.
You think such interesting things.
All right. I'm going to cut off your shirt. It'll be easier to access your injuries.
You can do whatever you want to me.
Must you always joke like that when you're around me?
I mean it.
Don't let him get to you. Just ignore it. Right, well, the wounds aren't too bad. A few stitches and you'll be good as new. I'll numb the area. Honestly, his body looks pretty healthy, all things considered. He even looks more muscular.
Well then, shall we get started? Unless you'd like to stare at my chest a bit longer.
I wasn't staring.
You're cute when you try to hide it.
I hate that he can see right through me. Just get this done and leave. You can do this.
I couldn't help but notice that you were covered in a lot of blood. What happened?
I'd rather not talk about it. I need to focus on treating you.
You look tired.
Yeah, well, with all the villain attacks, doctors are overwhelmed right now.
I'm sorry. It's the fault of people like me that you're so overworked now. And to have to call you out of the blue like this.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't lie to me. Why don't you tell me what you really think?
You want to know what I really think?
I'm all ears.
I think that I'm actually happy you got hurt.
You'll have to explain that logic to me.
Well, would I have seen you again otherwise?
Perhaps not.
Your friend is quite bold, but I'm glad he found my number. I was so sure I never would see you again.
Would you have missed me?
Yes, very much, actually.
You've never been this honest with me before.
Well, I may not see you again after this, so I thought you should know. I know I don't mean much to you, that you may have easily forgotten me after all this time. But now that I got to see you one last time, I can move on without regrets. There, that takes care of the last stitch.
Thank you. Now, I can do this.
What are you doing? Why did you do that?
Simple. I wanted to.
Don't do things that'll give me the wrong idea.
I'm not. I'm telling you exactly what I want from you.
You know how I felt about you, but you said it yourself. We're on different paths. You made it very clear in the past that our relationship had to be strictly business. So don't lead me on like this.
You think I just kiss anyone? Fine. Let me make it crystal clear for you. Screw everything I said. Be mine.